We have breaking news in just the last few hours. Tonight, we're learning that a domestic situation could have led to a shooting outside of a daycare in Indianapolis this morning.
Absolutely. It was a scary situation because a woman was killed in that shooting. This morning, officers responded to a person shot on West 10th Street and North Holmes Avenue around 7:30. Then just a few hours later, police got called to 10th and Delaware on reports of a suspect connected to that shooting. Tonight, we have team coverage for you from Karen Campbell and Logan Gay covering this story for us tonight. And we're going to start with Karen. Karen?
Well, Anne-Marie, Felicia, yes, police do believe that this was the result of a domestic situation. Now, of course, we're here in front of the daycare center. Things look completely different than they did at 7:30 this morning when that shooting took place. And, you know, we spoke to folks in this community and they say, of course, this is something no one is ever prepared for, but especially to have a shooting happen outside of a daycare center. It has left this entire community shaken, an entire community heartbroken. Now, police say the woman who has not yet been identified was dropping off children here at Charity Church Child Center near West 10th Street and North Holmes Avenue. Again, this happening around 7:30 this morning. Police say multiple shots were fired and witnesses, even children, saw the shooting happen. Those with close ties to the daycare and the church say what happened here today will forever scar this community.
You have a person perhaps mentally ill or whatever it may be that destroyed a family this morning through this act of violence.
Now, many came out here earlier today to hold a vigil and pray for peace and comfort for the family impacted by this shooting. And that is the latest here today. I want to toss it over to my colleague, Logan Gay, who was just a short distance from here with more on this investigation. Logan?
Yeah, Karen, the roads are back open here on 11th and Delaware after an hours-long investigation. IMPD tells us that what happened here is in connection to what happened at the Delhi daycare shooting that happened just a little over 2 miles from the spot.
Dead silent, beautiful morning, standing on the sidewalk. And all of a sudden I heard rounds, just boom, 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 boom.
What Gail Life originally thought was fireworks turned out to be bullets.
It had to be at least 13 shots. I figured it was a mass shooting with as many rounds that went off.
She was walking outside near 10th and North Delaware.
Steps and looked down the street and I seen a man fall to the ground, and that's when I realized it was gunshots and I ran back in.
Police were alerted to a car possibly connected to a shooting just hours earlier at a Hallville area daycare.
Our condolences go out to the victim's family, the children and employees that have been impacted by this senseless act of violence that occurred this morning.
Police say 33-year-old Orlando Mitchell was shot at least once after refusing to put a rifle down. Officers also found several weapons during a search of his vehicle. Lipe says she won't forget the sight of Mitchell falling to the ground after hearing the shots.
It was scary. Not something anybody wants to witness, that's for sure.
Officers involved in the shooting are on administrative leave as the investigation continues. They say that they will keep us updated with all details, and as soon as those come in, we will keep you updated online and on air. Ann and Felicia, back to you.
Logan, thank you so much. I think we can all understand how scary that would be. We appreciate it. Now, over the last hour, 13 investigators learned that Orlando Mitchell has a history of domestic violence.
Rich and I also have some new details that are just coming into the newsroom about Mitchell, and he joins us now live in studio with more on that. So, Rich, what can you tell us?
Anne-Marie and Felicia, new charges and an arrest warrant were filed just yesterday against Orlando Mitchell for violating a no-contact order and threatening the mother of his 11-month-old son. Court records obtained by 13 investigators allege that Mitchell forced his way into the home where the mother lives, wanting to pick up his son a day early. This happened back on August 6th. When the woman told Mitchell she was going to call the police, she says Mitchell responded, "If you call the police, it will be the last thing you do." She called his mother instead, and Mitchell did leave the house. Then she reported the incident to police. Now, that no contact order was part of a plea agreement reached in July this year for domestic battery conviction in March 2021. Mitchell pleaded guilty to domestic battery in the presence of a child under 16. Charges of strangling a pregnant woman, confinement, and intimidation were dismissed as part of the deal. He served 1 day in jail with a year of probation. He was not allowed to contact the mother except for arranging child care for their son. A probation violation and arrest warrant on this case were issued against Mitchell August 30th, likely as the result of violating the no contact order.